right, welcome back to Estonia, 1944, as we continue the Keg Sized Campaign for Narva Bridgehead, 1944. Soviets versus Germans, where it never will snow, because I'm not going to even go that route. I guess I could cover this entire thing with like some kind of glitter, but no chance I'm ever going to do that. The eternal spring and summer on the Eastern Front. That would have been nice. The Germans would have loved that. And here is some clips of the fantastic map that James made for me for this Narva Bridgehead campaign. You can see Narva here in the center, and as we pan off to the east along the road, we get to the, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, but the town of Opol'e, or yeah, whatever. I can't get it right. I'm so sorry to everybody who lives there. But this gives you a look at what is actually happening in the battle, and I think it's fantastic that James did this for me. Okay, so chain of command, using big chain of command rules, using the sharp end supplement and the standard rule book for sharp practice from Too Fat Lardies, if you haven't played the system before. Real excited to play this. It's been at least 7 months since I played a I think I said sharp practice, chain of command, excuse me, since I played a chain of command game. With saying that at the sharp end, I'm going to screw that up a lot, and I apologize. Just a pretty simple map, lots of trees, no roads, a lot of hills. Everything looks great with grass. Couple fields. I'll get a look from the other side of the battlefield. Dealing with a 10-foot wide, 7-foot deep battlefield. The mission will be the probe. So not a lot of force support in this one. I rolled it all up. Soviets were able to snatch up a T-34-85 and a Maxim medium machine gun for force support for their 2 platoons. They also got a couple extra points because they have a decreased force strength compared to the German. I think the Germans are at 0, and the Soviets, I think, we're at -3. I can't remember. I think that's what it was. You can see the view from this side of the battlefield. The buildings are from Charlie Foxtrot. The terrain maps are from a company no longer in business called Killing Field Terrains. I think some people are starting to sell them as a company in Australia, but you have to be in Australia to get them. So I might have to call my buddy in Adelaide and get him to pick me up, and then I'll send him money to mail it to me or something. If that's illegal, I'm definitely not doing it. See, just in case any of you guys are postmasters. I don't think it is. So I'm gonna have to get more of these at some point when I expand my table into the other space down in this danky basement. I've got the patrol markers out and the initial locations for the battle. I'm planning on just recording it and speeding up the patrol phase so you can kind of get that part of it. It's a really neat part of the game, and that thing is even better when you're playing against an opponent. I might bring one of my daughters down here to bang it out with me. The buildings and the fields and the trees and just the hills are the only real terrain of this battlefield. I did take the liberty of increasing the force morale up into, I'm just going to bump it up to 20 total. I made my little cards, like bingo cards almost. In big sharp practice, both platoons are kept track of separately, and if one platoon is wiped out or something horrible happens to there are in the big sharp practice rules, there are penalties that will cause bad things to happen for their sister platoon. Yeah, by the time I get deep into this ongoing campaign, I will get to the point where I'm playing company on company with 3 platoons for each side, but I do need more of each, especially I'm way short on Germans, so that's okay. The probe actually works in my favor just because it's in a ladder campaign. It's one of the first ones you're supposed to do anyway, because the Soviets are the aggressor at this point of the war. So yay, works out for me. That'll let me buy time to
paint some Germans up. I'm probably gonna get that Pioneer box from Warlord Games. Paint up just a quick Pioneer squad, maybe a wire clearing squad, maybe a mine clearing or a flamethrower team, a wire clearing team, and then everyone else is going to be basically rifles, except for a couple MG42s. But I need to boost the amount of rifles that I have. Just it fits the force selectors that I've chosen to utilize for this campaign, at least at first. Things might change as I go along, but right now I am I'm basically a noob chain of command player. I think I have maybe 3 or 4 games under my belt, and it's been at least 7 months. So mistakes are going to be made. I'm hoping over the next year or two to become an absolute monster expert at this game. So wish me luck. All right, we'll jump into the patrol phase. I've got the Germans all laid out over here. I'm going to pan over here. Please don't throw up on me. Just standard rifle platoons. Germans going to be a little bit under strength, but they do have, I didn't have enough rifles, so there's a mix of submachine guns and assault rifles in here. The Russians are all laid out basically perfectly as the book calls for them. There is Captain Carmichael. He's in charge of this. He's the rank and senior leader for the Germans. And then, of course, there's Mikhail on the far side for the Soviets. He'll be commanding them. Okay, I think that's it. I'll explain more of forces as we get into it, but I like to try to jump into the battle as quickly as possible. That T-34-85 might be doing some damage. We'll see if a Panzerschreck takes it out. And we'll be alternating back and forth from Platoon 1 Soviet, Platoon 1 German, Platoon 2 Soviet, and Platoon 2 German. I believe that's the way it's supposed to be in the books and the big chain of command rules. So we'll go from there, and we'll get the patrol phase coming at you. And we'll look for jumping off points, and then we'll start off Soviet Platoon 1, turn 1. For better or for worse, Soviets got one jumping off point here behind these trees, one here behind these trees. You can see the tree thing, and they're very tree friendly. One there, one there. Germans got one back there behind those trees. They got one in the stables here, one in this little walled field, and one behind those trees over there. I don't know. Sounds pretty good to me. We'll see how it all works out. You never know. All right, we'll do force morale, and we'll get to it. So I'm hoping this modified force morale system works. I have high hopes. It was identical for both sides. Both platoon ones maxed out at 20, and both second platoons for each side got a 17. And that'll be it. We'll see how it goes, and wish me luck. It should be awesome. Let's get the battle on. Woohoo! All right, Mikhail's ready. First platoon, Soviets. Let's do their command rolls. I will be
just playing it straight up. So if we get 6,000 double phases in a row, that's just too bad, so sad. So we'll see how it goes. Oh, Soviet first platoon comes in hard over here on the left flank. They use they get one chain of command point. They use the one to bring in the Maxim medium machine gun. I believe they had and they brought in a squad by itself, brought their junior leader with them. Then they brought in a junior leader with the squad, and they had a 4 left over, so they brought in their senior leader, the first lieutenant or the senior lieutenant for first platoon. So they're all here. Between the junior leader that came in with his commands and with the senior leader, they put the whole, all three, the 2 squads and the 1 team, all on Overwatch, just staring down the Germans. Yes. All right. See if the Germans come in and just decide to get completely pounded by this execution squad. Nice. Yeah, they're all up in the trees, ready to do some battling. Awesome. All right, that's the end of Soviet first platoon phase. So now we'll go on to German phase for platoon 1 for them. German first platoon rolled all the 3s in the world and 1 worthless 6. They brought in 1 squad over here on the far right, behind the hills, put them on Overwatch with their junior leader. Also, they brought in a 2nd squad, hidden from the Soviets, behind that hill there and behind the stone walls in hard cover. They're also on Overwatch. And they're just going to let the Soviets come to them, I think. We'll see what happens. I'll roll a tank at them, see if they can deal with that. We'll go on to 2nd platoon for the Soviets. Soviets on the 2nd platoon. These guys are going to be in Overwatch. They got brought in by their junior leader behind the stone walls, covering the central village, and then they'll bring in these guys just as the squad. They came in on a 2, the 2 ones put together. Not going to use the 4 at this time, and I think they got a 6 too, which was also worthless. So that's the end of the Soviet turn after I place this Overwatch for these guys. All right, German platoon 2. All right, using the 2, 2nd platoon brings in a squad on the far left of the German side, just in the trees way back there covering that side. Using the 1, they bring in their MG42 in the top floor of that building there, who's automatically going to unload when he gets in. And then with the 3, the junior leader brings in another squad into the compound there of the stables off that jumping off point, and he's going to put his own squad into Overwatch and then order the MG42 to unload at these guys in hard cover. And after the fact, this Overwatch, these guys are going to fire back at that MG42. 2nd platoon also got 2 chain of command points. Range is 25 inches, so it's effective range. I think they get 10 shots out of a tripod mounted medium machine gun. And let's see what happens. Hitting these Soviets in hard cover at effective range on 5s and 6s. 10 shots. That crew rolling all the 1s and 2s. Not good, gentlemen. 2 chances to have an impact here in hard cover. Triggers their Overwatch, that Soviet squad firing back at that MG42 in soft cover. 7 rifles and 1 magazine fed light machine gun, 13 shots. Not enough shot to reduce the number of shots they're taking yet, and so they get 13 shots to soft cover at that German team. They will splash over into the other squad that's attached to them. 5 hits, 3 go on the MG42 team and 2 on the squad. They're all in soft cover as that building gets just riddled with bullets. MG42 team loses a guy. the squad in the corral, I guess is the best word. I don't know, pasture, yeah, probably is the best word. They take 1 point of shock as bullets and body parts come flying through the walls at them. Back to Soviet first squad, see what they can do. They get a worthless 6, they get a chain of command point, and they have 2 4s to work with and a 2. Alright, the senior leader for first platoon is going to break off 2 guys off this squad here, 2 riflemen, forming a scout team. They're going to move tactically 2d6, try to get into these trees over here. Looking to move a jump off point and expand this. We still got a team off. We still have 1 squad off the board, so jumping in and then unloading on those guys would be the way to do it. So we're going to try that. And these Soviets have a special rule where they can move 2d6 and remain tactical movement. A very exciting move as they move 5 inches. The big question is going to be, are they visible to that German squad back there? They are to a few of these guys, like the last 2 on the end, one of which has a submachine gun. Oh, maybe he has an assault rifle. Oh boy. Let's see what they got. They're going to crack off a couple shots just for fun, trigger their Overwatch. Yeah, technically, these 4 guys at the end, one of which has an MG42. This is going to be no fun. I got to measure the range. 2 rifles, an assault rifle, and an MG42 cut and loose. They're going to get you're going to get soft cover for the tactical movement, and they're going to get partial cover from that tree. I'm going to put them in hard cover. It's going to be 11 shots at effective range, hitting on 5s and 6s. They zap them with 3 hits. Let's see if the Soviets can do the Matrix out here. They pick up a point of shock on their mad dash. They're not happy with their commanders. They run to the left here, try to get behind those trees. All right, over to first squad, or first platoon for the Germans. All right, they get their first chain of command point. First platoon is going to bring in their senior leader back here and then immediately order this squad to fire again on that scout team. Sorry, guys. 11 shots, hitting on 5s and 6s. Hit him 4 more times in hard cover. 2 points to shock with 2 men. They almost got him into the pin section, but they're still not there. Got to get behind those trees before they go wore out anymore. That's all the German first platoon is going to do. We'll go over to Soviet second platoon. They're going to put their 2s together, bring in their senior leader. With those gentlemen, they're going to fire at the MG42 again, and they're going to use the 3 that they have to move this squad full speed 2d6. They move out to the right, 2d6. Senior leader comes in, he pulls the 1 shock, and they will unload. 13 shots hitting on 5s and 6s. 6 hits split evenly between those 2 groups. Blues will be the squad. Germans are losing this fight as the MG42 team loses another guy. The squad in the corral goes up to 3 shock. Oh, tearing them up. It's on to platoon 2. Second platoon sends in their last squad behind the stone wall coming off that center jumping off point. Very nice range. Their junior leader orders them to open fire on the squad that's been suppressing the MG42. The senior leader comes in on the 3 and the 1 put together, and he goes ahead and orders machine gewehr on that squad's machine gun, or MG42, and they're going to really let loose on these guys and see if they can suppress the heck out of them in hard cover. They're going to end up pouring out 18 shots out of that unit into the Soviets in hard cover at effective range. Sorry, not effect, close range, even easier to hit. 10 hits in hard cover. Good luck. 3 kills, 2 shock. Senior leader and a junior leader in there. See if they're hit on a 1, 2, or a... Oh, hang on, is it 1, 2, or 3, or is it 1 and 2? 1 second. You know, 1, 2, or a 3. One of the leaders is hit. Oh, leaders hit. 1, 2, or 3. It's the senior leader. 4, 5, 6, junior leader. All right, so 2 junior leaders hit. Only 2 riflemen to be picked off in the fire, and they'll pick up 2 shock. All right, let's see what happens to the platoon sergeant. Sorry, the squad leader would be a sergeant. He's just stunned, can't be activated next turn, and we need to roll a bad thing for junior leader wounded. Alright, second platoon will drop down to a 16. We're doing fine. Got that extra wiggle room. I love it. Well, we'll see if I love it. So far, I love it. And that'll finish up the German phase. We'll go back to Soviet phase, platoon 1. Let's do a quick circle of the battlefield. We'll probably try to do that every time we go around the clock twice, just to keep everybody in a loop. Starting down here at the, I guess this would be the south side of the battlefield. You got that Soviet tactical team keeps getting ripped up with bullets as they try to move to these trees. They're up to 2 shock. We got Overwatch here with 2 Russian squads with a senior leader in there. Got a senior leader with a German squad out here on the south side of the far right of the German flank. They've been unloading on that scout squad, putting some bullets on them. Another German squad here to their left, still in tactical, or still in Overwatch, excuse me. These gentlemen in Overwatch in the barn, they've been taking bullets as they've been flying through the barn here. MG42 teams lost 2 gentlemen so far, down to 2-man crew and an extra guy. I think a 3-man crew left on that thing. New German squad just came in here from 2nd platoon with a senior leader, unloaded into the Soviets, and did some damage on them, wounded their squad sergeant, and 2 pins on them. Got a German squad sitting back here just kind of watching the north side of the battlefield. If you look through the trees here, I got a Soviet squad kind of flanking, trying to probe, which was the point of the battle. Soviets have lost 2 riflemen from 2nd platoon. They still got 1 squad off the field. They got their tank. Mike's still off the board, and then 1st platoon also has a squad. 1st platoon has 2 chain of command points. 2nd platoon has 1. Continue the circle. I think we've explained all this stuff. And I forgot to do the German chain of command points and German units. 2nd platoon's up to 4, so they're doing really good. 1st platoon has 1. 1st platoon still has a squad off the board plus a Panzer Shrek. We've got those 2 casualties there from the MG42 team. Captain Carmichael just chilling in the back, just pointing the direction, and 2nd platoon still has their Panzer Shrek off the battlefield, just waiting to react to when the T-34-85 comes on the battlefield. Alright, there you go. I think that worked, I hope. Alright, 1st platoon gets 1 chain of command die, and they get 2 3s and a 4. They're going to wear the heck out of that. They are going to bring in the T-34-85. Alright, the T-34 comes in on the southern end of the battlefield, 6 inches from the corner and the edge. That uses the first 3. Now they have another 3, and they have 2 2s, which they're going to put together to use their senior leader. Alright, with the first 3, the junior leader here is going to activate his squad and the team. They're going to move towards that hill. On the 4, senior leader here is going to activate this squad and move that direction. Plus, he's going to try to activate these gentlemen. So that'll be his 2. I think he has 1 extra command, so he'll also try to pull a shock off the scout team, try to get him out of the field of fire. Scout team's gonna move 2d6 -1. Try to get behind those trees. Stop taking fire. They are successfully hidden behind those trees. Won't get wasted anymore by those gentlemen. These guys are going to move forward towards the base of that hill, 2d6. You might have thought they were up against a minefield or something as they move out kind of gingerly. And now we'll get the machine gun team will move and this squad will move. That squad got a fired up move, but they had farther to move to keep on line since they were kind of at an angle. So they are all on the base of the hill, moving forward, still out of sight of the Germans on the opposite side of that little bump. Move over to German first squad. For first platoon, they bring in this final squad back here, kind of overloaded in the right behind the trees. The junior leader here puts in both his commands to put those two squads on overwatch. We're going to go over to this part of first platoon. We're going to pull the shock with one command and then fire the MG42 at those guys in hard cover. MG42 cuts loose with 10 shots at effective range, hitting on 5s and 6s. Four hits in hard cover on this rifle squad. A dead and a shock. Let's see if their leaders are hit. Oh no, one of them's hit again. It's junior leaders on the 4, 5, and 6. Senior leaders hit this time. Oh, that's not good. Oh, he's lightly wounded. No bueno. He'll lose a command. Bad thing happens for senior leader hit. -2 more as they drop down to 14. All right, it's time for Russian second platoon. They got to do some work over here. All right, second platoon gets a worthless 6. On the 3, they bring in another squad next to that squad that's been getting hammered. That guy's going to come in and basically the junior leader's going to come in and get both of these squads to fire at the German squad across the other side of the little pasture or field. Also, the senior leader with one reduced command is going to pull shock off this squad that's been getting hit. There two, the final squad out on the north end of the battlefield is going to move farther up towards these trees. And move this squad first. They continue their advance up the hill on the north side of the battlefield. That German squad's kind of waiting for them to crest before they start hammering away on them. Now we're going to get all the shooting over here after I pull some shock. I think I have 2 to pull off, so these guys will get down to 1 point of shock. 12 rifles and 2 magazine-fed light machine guns at close range. This is going to be all the dice, hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s into hard cover. 14 hits on hard cover. Oh, they're too far away to splash onto anybody else. They're taking it all like a boss. 3 kills and a shock. Leader hit on a 1, 2, or 3. There is a junior and a senior leader over there. One of the leaders hit. Senior leader will be on the low side. Oh, the first lieutenant is blasted. Let's see what kind of damage he takes. He's wounded and can't be activated next turn. We'll see a bad thing for them. They lose 2 guys. They also pick up 1 shock. So, first 2 casualties for second platoon for the Germans. And speaking of second platoon, it's their turn. They go ahead and don't waste the opportunity. They use the 1 to bring in their Panzerschreck team over here in the field to the right. Pull a shock on the center using the junior leader. Use the second command to return fire at these guys. We're down to 3 rifles and a MG42. Everyone else has got, the other 3 guys have SMGs. Just 4 hits will be splashed across both squads, so 2 on each, ball and hardcover. Oh, it's not what they needed, as they just bang off the stone wall. The Russians love it. Germans frustrated. Oh, that ends that one. We go back to first platoon for the Soviets. Put the 1 and the 2 together to move out the T-34-85, 3D6 up the sideline. Not the most huge move, but she moves out 10 inches down the side of the board. Looking to outflank the Germans. Germans, of course, be throwing some Panzerschrecks and Panzerfaust with this thing, trying to waste it. Use a 3 to bring in their last squad. They use a 4 to bring in, since everyone's on the battlefield, they bring in their awesome commander, Mikhail. He's going to lead these guys to victory. I can see what they got left. I think they've got a little bit left. Let me double check. One last 4. They're going to hold it. They want to coordinate this going over the hill with the T-34-85 being over there on the flank. Hopefully. That's the Russian plan right now. That'll be the end of first platoon for the Soviets. Go over to first platoon for the Germans with these 3 squads. All first platoon's going to do is bring in their last Panzerschreck, sit behind these trees and just wait on the tanks to come on over, the tank to come over and just blast it. They have 2 of them over here now. Go over to Soviet second platoon. Got a worthless 6, 2 3s, a 4, and a 1. Well, they're definitely gonna unload into that squad again and try to finish them off. Yeah, let me see how this is all gonna go down. The senior leader's gonna pull. Actually, they use the junior leader to pull shock. The senior leader is going to use his 2 commands to order both of these squads to fire at the Germans. And then the last 3, this Russian squad on the north side of the battlefield will continue their advance. Probably going off to the right a little bit. Very few 5s and no double phases yet, which is crazy. Okay. Okay, here we go. Movement of this squad. Heading off down to, stay in the trees, kind of go off to the right here, try to keep those woods between them and the Germans. Get a nice move. Stay on the side of the hill, not cresting it. Germans don't have an angle yet on these guys. They might have to move to the left a little bit and so they can have a good shot at the Russians. Alright, here comes the firing squad. I can't, was that like 12 rifles and 2 LMGs? 24 shots hitting on 4 5s and 6s. Oh, they crush the odds and get 15 hits. I forgot to roll the bad thing for the German senior leader getting hit last time. I'll have to do that. Just remembered that. 3 shock, 2 dead on a 1 or a 2. This one of the leaders is hit. Same as last time. Junior leader would be the low. No, senior leader's the low, sorry. Junior leader gets whacked this time. What kind of wound does he get? He's wounded, he can't be activated next turn. Alright, we'll get a junior leader wounded and a senior leader wounded. Bad thing. Second platoon drops 2 to 15. They'll have 1 guy killed over there, and they'll take the 3 more shock and add them on. Oh, wow. They got wasted. Alright, and then we go on to second platoon for the Germans. Alright, with the 4, senior leader's going to pull 2 shock in order this squad to fire. With the 3, this junior leader in here is gonna order his squad to run as fast as they can to try to move up into here, and then order the medium machine gun also to fire at these guys. They'll combine their firepower with what's left of this squad. Yeah, that'll work. Alright, these guys have 2 shock. They're going to go up to 3, and they're going to run as far as they can towards the middle of that area there. Alright, squad gets to there. They have 3 shock now. And here comes the MG42 and what's left of this squad firing at these guys in hard cover. MG42 will be hitting on 5s and 6s. Squad will be hitting on 4 5s and 6s. And 20 shots. Eight hits in hard cover, splitting it. Both squads take 2 shock. Got on the squad to the left, we've got 1 kill, chance for the junior leader being hit on a 1. That squad in 2nd platoon loses a rifleman. That's the end of that phase. Still no double phases. Still no chain of command dice. All right, go around the time for another lap around the battlefield. Got a German squad down here in Overwatch. No, they aren't even in Overwatch. They're just laying down here in the woods. They might have to move anyway before these guys get right past them. Soviets moving up on the flank nicely. Getting into the meat and potatoes of the battlefield. In the center here is 2 Soviet squads have been playing executioner with this squad. Now we've got Germans advance forward. Brought another squad online. They might have to watch their left though, because there's a lot of Soviets right over here. Got some cover between them, but still. Soviet tank moving up. This scout team is kind of just hanging out here now. I was planning on hopefully generating some chain of command dice and putting a squad, moving a jump off point up to there to flank the Germans, but just can't get any 5s. Germans are packed in here with 2 squads and a 3rd squad over here, and all the Panzerschrecks in the world just waiting on the T-34-85. And that's the circle. All right, it's pretty good so far. It's an awesome system. All right, it's time for Soviet 1st platoon. Let's go, baby. Oh, this is it. It's the first double phase. 2 4s and a 1. They're going to go for the execution. With the 1, they'll move the machine gun team forward. With the 4, the senior leader's going to order both of these squads to run forward. And then with the last 4, Mikhail is going to order these guys for the triple run and take a shock, which I think he can pull right away. See how far they can get. And then next phase, they're going to try to eliminate these gentlemen. Well, the Soviet advance, it's awesome. They're heading for the... Check some angles, but I think they might be able to invisibility. Otherwise, they might have to move 1d6 and fire at half strength or something next turn. All right, these guys are going to do the 3d6 hammer dance. See if they can get into that space there. Typical Russian fashion. Here they come. Human wave attack. Usually they have the machine gun farther back, killing the guys that don't keep running. But they're going with it this time. They're actually going to utilize it against the enemy, which is always a good thing. This one German squad's like, oh my gosh, we are in deep crap. But they're in hard cover. Alright, time for phase 2. Let's see how far these guys can get. They picked up a point of shock, which their awesome captain pulled right away. This might be the war. They're going to get another double phase. So they're going to close in. This is going to be, oh, very cinematic as the Russians come tearing over the hill and just close in on the German position. 2 4s, the senior leaders are going to do the exact same thing. They're going to close with 2d6 for the 3 squads plus the medium machine gun and see if they can get to point blank range against these Germans and then fire on their last phase. Or go to hand if they get another double phase. Holy cow. The Maxim team might have put a bit too much grease on their tires as they lead the charge down the hill, trying to find the brakes as they almost hit the wall. The Germans will trigger their Overwatch fire into this mass of Germans coming towards them, Russians coming towards them. It'll be split over the 4 groups, the 1 team into 3 squads. Oh, what a mess. Everybody just unloads. Oh, it's just a question of who runs out of ammo first. Or let the bodies hit the floor. 5 rifles, an SMG, and 2 assault rifles, plus an NG-42 cutting loose on their Overwatch at close range. 23 shots in the open. 14 hits in the open, spread across 4 groups. Alright, we got 2 dead from this group, chance for a senior leader hit, and then 1 dead over here, chance for a junior leader getting hit. I'm rolling bullseyes on these officer shots. Either the junior or the senior leader is hit in this group here, and one of them is Mikhail. Oh no, Mike is gonna get blasted maybe. Mike will be the 1, 2, or 3. The junior leader will be the high side. Captain Mikhail is hit. Oh no. Let's see if how bad it is. Well, it says he's killed, but Mikhail can never be killed, so he is out of this battle. He's going to get some emergency surgery. They're flying in the best cardiothoracic surgeon on the Eastern Front. Going to patch him back together again, get that bullhorn reattached after it gets melted into his face. Or detached. He'll be back, but he's not going to be back next battle. So the Russians will go with, or the Soviets will go without their ranking senior leader in the next mission. Oh, that's terrible. So those 2 squads both lose a rifleman, and then Mike has been medevaced out back to Moscow. Final shot counts. Medium machine guns got 1 shot. This squad has 3. We've got 2 over here and 1 over here. Get a bad thing happens for a ranking senior leader killed. That's never good for 1st platoon. -2 as 1st platoon drops to 18. Kind of sucks. That's the one guy you didn't want to get killed in that whole mass of people. One of those Germans was a cracked rifle hunter doing a hunter back home, and just saw a guy screaming into his bullhorn and shot it right through its face. All right, well, best of luck to Mike. Hope his insurance will be good and he'll get back out there in a couple days. All right, now final phase. The Soviets still have 1 more phase to go. After having no double phases at all, it's turned into double phase insanity. And then they roll a total turd at the end. 1 squad can fire, and then they get a full chain of command dice and then a worthless 6. Oh, they must have it's just a collective groan as they see Mike get smoked. Let's see I guess the squad, well, these guys have shock. Let me see which squad's gonna fire. Better almost be this one, just because of they've got the best shot. Without having to fire through this crazy machine gun team that went running up here like a bunch of insane people. They will lose 1 shot just because they have 3 shock. 14 shots at hard cover, split between the 2 teams. 6 hits in hard cover, split in. Oh, actually, there's 2 teams and there's 2 teams and a squad in there. They're going to split it up into 3. MG-42 team loses a rifleman. They're down to 2 guys. Panzerschreck team takes a shock. Rifle team's untouched. Or, sorry, not rifle team. I guess it would be the squad, whatever. Get that, here we go. Now that's the end of the Soviet run. Kind of fizzled out there at the end. All right, Germans, platoon 1. All right, this they're gonna take the 2, and this squad is gonna fire. Actually, they can't fire the team if they do that. 1 second. 90% sure if I get a 2, I can have, you know, the integrated team fire with a squad with just no senior leader or no junior leader involved. Might have that wrong. I'm going to have to go back and read it, but I'm going to go ahead and play it. So with the 2, these guys are going to fire into them. And then with the 3 and the 1, this senior leader in here, this lieutenant, is going to do a bunch of shifting around and possibly do some killing of these guys. Alright, first up, this squad's going to kind of pivot, lose their overwatch, fire. This Panzerschreck team is going to advance behind them to get the heck out of the way, and these guys are going to advance into this area where the Panzerschreck is and fire it, probably at a penalty at the Soviets as well. Panzerschreck team shifted 2 inches to the right. This squad moves 6 inches to the left. Will fire. These guys will also fire over here. And I'm going to hold off. These guys might charge. We'll see how bad it is for that squad on the far right. But I'm going to go ahead and shoot this squad and that MG42 along with these guys. Let's see what happens. This whole mass over here will fire 32 shots into the Soviets. Yeah, what a mess. 16 hits in the open, splattered across 4 groups. Oh, what a nightmare. Outside squad here is 2 dead and up to 2 shock. Machine gun crew lost a guy and they're up to 4 shock. Central squad's up to 6 shock, and this right side group up to 5 shock, and they've got a dead. We've got chances for a 1 in 6 chance for a junior and senior leader to get hit over here, and then just a junior leader on the far left, a 2 in 6 chance. So the junior leader is bullseyed over here. I continue my assault on the non-commissioned and commissioned officer corps. But they do lose 1 man on the far left, 1 man on the far right, both die, plus the 1 man from the machine gun team. And now we'll see what kind of wound this junior leader takes. He's lightly wounded, drops down to just 1 command. We'll do a bad thing for a junior leader wounded. And then we still have 1 last command over here. It's a squad. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to see if I can reach these guys and go hand to hand with this squad to the far right. No effect on force morale as that sergeant takes a wound in the shoulder. Alright, see what happens over here. Alright, it's German squad's going to try to get within 4 inches of these Russians. Okay, the senior leader was tapped out with all of his orders, I believe. Let me go back and think about it. He ordered 1 squad to shoot, 1 squad to move the Panzerschreck, and then his 3rd command was to have these guys charge. So he has nothing left for Handgranaten. So yeah, these guys will just go in crazy style against the Soviets. It takes some dizzying math, but the Germans will have 31 attacks, the Soviets will have 23. And looking for 5s and 6s. Wow, here comes all the dice rolling. We'll do the Germans first. We're gonna hit them with 6 kills and 6 shock. Or 12 shock, sorry. Forgot the 6s are a double threat. Yeah, that's going to pretty much be devastating on them. But they're going to attack back and try to kill as many Germans as possible. Typical Eastern Front combat. Oh, 7 kills, 12 shock back on the Germans. Let's see who's still alive. It's going to be some serious psychological counseling for whatever's left here. All the leaders are getting hit automatically. It's just going to be whether it's going to be juniors or seniors. Let's figure that out now. Soviet senior leader, German squad sergeant are both hit in the combat. Let's see what kind of wounds they take. Alright, they're both lightly wounded. Now let's let the bodies hit the floor and see what's left and how much shock is on these guys. We're going to need some grief counselors on site immediately. Soviets have 3 remaining troops, a junior leader, a senior leader, and a submachine gunner with 16 shock. So they're going to break. Germans almost kept it together with 5 guys with 12 shocks. They're also going to break. And they're both going to fall back 6 plus 2d6 away from each other. Wow, that was savage. Soviet squad ends up in the trees way back here. German squad ends up behind the trees over there. I think the Germans, they get their senior leader again. He can pull enough shock to keep them from running any farther. Soviets, no chance. Senior leader will detach off those guys and just let them rot in the trees. Wasn't sure if that was the best idea, but that was fun doing hand to hand. So, and it's probably pretty normal for the Eastern Front. These guys just hated each other. All right, bad things. We got lots of bad things. Soviets will have a squad breaks and senior leader wounded. Let's do those 2. First platoon drops down to a 15 force morale. The Germans will have squad breaks and junior leader wounded. Their first platoon will drop down to 18. And we've got a chunk of dead Germans on first platoon. The Soviet first platoon, about the same, probably a little bit more. And we'll go on to second platoon. Oh, the hits just keep on coming, baby. Second platoon for the Soviets gets 2 chain of command points. They get 2 1s and a 3, which is kind of a turd. I guess we'll use the 3 for the junior leader to pull 2 shock. And then the... oh, that's not going to work. Hang on. They're just going to have both. The senior leader's got 2 commands. Going to activate him with the 3 and a 1. The other one's going to go to waste. He's only got 2 commands, so he's going to have both squads open fire straight ahead, try to wipe out these guys before they get completely overmatched. 24 shots at close range. They'll drop to 23 shots because they have 2 shock over here. Oh, they have 2 shock on the other group too. Hang on, let's do some math. After the shock and the casualties, I almost forgot about it, goes down to 20 shots at close range. 9 hits on that team in hard cover between the squad and the machine gun team. 2 shock on the MG42 team, 3 shock on the what's left of the squad. No dead, not horrible. Definitely got to get pulling some shock. Soviets trying to continue their probe. Unfortunately, they cannot probe at all because that crappy roll. This squad is not moving forward. Go on to German second platoon. Their first 4, Captain Carmichael arrives on the battlefield with all of his supreme power. He's going to be pulling shock. The other 4, this lieutenant is going to activate, and then on the 3, this squad's going to activate. There's going to be all kinds of shock getting pulled, all kinds of bullets getting fired. Good luck, gentlemen. All right, this junior leader's able to pull 1 shock, getting them down to 2. Carmichael and the lieutenant are able to pull 5 shock, taking everything away from these guys. They have no shock now. They still have a command. They have a command free to fire this squad. They have a command free to fire this squad. Oh, they're going to keep one shock. Sorry, because they're going to need one free shock to fire the one free command to fire the MG42. 51 shots coming in from the Germans. The white dice will be from the MG42. They're going to be at effective range. Everything else hitting on 4, 5s, and 6s. 26 hits in hard cover, split between both squads. On the right gets T-boned with 4 kills, 3 shock, 1 in 4 chance a leader's hit. That'll just be the junior leader over there. This squad here with the senior leader takes 1 killed, chance of 1 in 6 that the senior leader or the junior leader's hit again, and 3 more shock. Neither senior leaders hit. Squad on the left has got 5 guys left with 5 shock. Squad on the right has got 5 shock and a few more gentlemen than that squad does as they get blasted. Woo! Alright. That ends that turn. That was a heck of a crazy turn. Not the most helpful roll. No 3s, so the tank stays marooned. All the 4s in the world. First off, this guy's going to move. He's wounded, so he can only go 2d6. So let's see how close he can get to these guys. That's going to burn 1 of his, so he'll have 1 command left after that. Alright, he gets up there. He's got 1 command. He's within 11 inches of just that squad there. So this is sad. He's going to order them to shoot. And then I'll use the 2 to fire this team. They can't even fire the machine gun. It's just embarrassing. Technically can't even... hang on. Really can't even shoot them because that squad's in the way. So I'm going to charge with both of those squads with all their damn shock. And that's about all I can do. These units will move 2d6 and attempt to charge that unit. And they've got some serious pins, so this might slow down real quick. The 2 squads go in. I think the Panzerschreck team gets sucked into this vortex too. I gotta check out the rules on multi-units going in. The Germans are gonna get that advantage of having hard cover, so they're gonna get lots of dice. So this nightmare is gonna end up being pretty close with the hard cover. The Germans will be 37 dice, and the Russians will have, or the Soviets will have 34. The Panzerschreck is not involved in this combat. It's just these 2 squads against the German squad. So this could go either way. Alright, let's do it, baby. Lots of dice coming at you. We'll rock out the Soviets first. This could be the battle. If these guys get wiped out, well, I got a feeling everyone's going to get wiped out in this, but yeah. Let's see. Soviets aren't going quietly into the night as they get 11 kills, which I'm sure will destroy the squad, and 15 shock, which if anybody did survive, they will be psychologically tormented. Germans hitting back with everything they got. I don't think the Germans underperformed as well as the Soviets just really overperformed. They did awesome. Germans killed 9 and put 15 shock. They'll be split between these 2 units. Let's see what's left after all that crap. I forgot to subtract away. I might have to re-roll the Soviets again. I forgot to subtract all the shock. The percentage would be, they only would lose 4 dice. So I'll take a percentage away from, because I don't want to take away that awesome roll. Let's just do some, I'm going to do some quick math, be right back. I just decreased their hits by 13%. So the Soviets were down to 9 kills with 14 shock. So it's very even. The Germans only had 9 guys, so they are wiped. Russians will take 4 on the squad to the right and 5 on the squad to the left. Chance to hit both junior leaders
a 1 and 4 and a 1 and 5. Sorry, you have no faith in my math skills. 4 and 6 and a 5 and 6. Both junior leaders will get hit. So now we've got to see what happens to them. They're both going to be killed. This one was wounded, and he already had a wound, so he's toast. And this one was straight out killed. This squad will go up to 9 shock with 4 guys. They're going to break 6 plus 2d6. They're going to be at 13 shock with 5 guys. They're going to do 6 plus 2d6 routing. Alright, and that's just a nightmare. That whole platoon is just taken off into the sunset. We'll do a bunch of bad things. We'll go to the Germans first. They're going to have a squad wiped out and a junior leader killed. They go down -2 to 15. And the Soviets have 2 squads broken and 2 junior leaders killed. They take a -5 and drop to 10. I think the Soviets are going to pull back. This is a probe. Just running out of... They could keep fighting here, but I think they're... Yeah. They're going to live to fight another day. And this was just really the get used to the new rules and try out the new force morale thing for me. But the fact this whole platoon is diced... yeah, the tank just never got the good dice. It was an interesting game because of that fact. But I did roll really good on shooting and hand-to-hand. It was brutal. But yeah, I'm going to do some quick calculations. And we'll come back because I'm looking forward to this at the sharp end stuff. But this will be a German victory. I'll average out the 2 platoons, come up with a number to come up with a force difference, and we'll come back with all the fluff, which is kind of cool, and ready for the next battle. I'm going to use the heck out of my whiteboard behind me here in a minute. All right, hope you enjoyed it. Be right back with some math. If you're not into that, I'll see you later. All right, time for the wrap up. I feel like it went well. I'm going to work the force morale thing with it being more points. That's going to be a work in progress. I think I'm going to stick with it just for a couple games. The probe might not be the best indicator of this. When we start getting more and more units, it might be more and more brutal, even though this side was horrific. So I'm going to give it still. I'm going to stick with what I got, and I'm not going to change it for about 4 battles, and then we'll reevaluate. And I know the Lardies, when they probably did it, they balanced the hell out of this, so they know it works. And I don't have the. I just took a shot at this. This is something fun that I like to do. So I'm also looking at the post-game calculations. I might have to tweak some of that stuff too, because I think my losses are going to be horrific. And I am not going to play the men shoot Doug and Mike at some point. I'll just have them be reduced to there'll be a ceiling down there, or a basement where they can't go below when they do so horribly. But we'll see how it goes. I'm going to work in progress, but that's where we're at right now. For the wrap, I'm looking over my shoulder here because or over your guys' shoulder, because I've got the whiteboard that direction. Soviets ended up losing. First platoon lost 18 guys. Second platoon lost 7 guys for a total of 25. When you do that calculation in the sharp end, 12 guys are totally dead. 7 are never going to come back, and 7 will be out for 1 battle, and then the other 7 can immediately return to duty. So plus they have Mike D's out
Captain Mikhail. He got wasted, so he's missing the next battle anyway. The Soviets ended up with an average force morale between the two platoons of 12. The Germans had a force morale average of 15, so it was a +3 shift for the Germans there, which is pretty cool. Germans' average casualties for first platoon was 16. They got in all that hand-to-hand with the Soviets, which never a good idea when you have less guys. And then second platoon played smart, just did the firefight, and they had 3 casualties for a total of 19. So they'll have 9 guys killed, 6 out for a battle, and 4 can return immediately to duty, which is cool. Mike's opinion is CO is -1, so he's at -1 total. His men don't like him because of all the casualties. They're -3. And then you don't calculate their own opinion until after, I think, 4 battles. Doug's a +2. CO's opinion of him, -1 for the men, because especially for first platoon, because they just got butchered. They think that wouldn't affect them too much because most of them are dead, but the guys that did survive don't appreciate the hand-to-hand ideas. Plus, they lost a lot of NCOs, so that didn't help. And then, of course, the personal opinion doesn't matter. The big decision will be, do the Germans want to give ground, or do they want to counterattack, or do they want to reinforce? So I'll more to come on that for the next battle, and we'll go from there. But overall, fantastic. It was a great refresher for my brain. I wanted to touch on a lot of the rules. The tactics, questionable. I'm always going to have questionable tactics on this channel. But I did a mix of trying to flank. I tried to do some movement to get a deployment point up to outflank. I brought the tank in on the side so I could, attempted to move up this flank so I could exploit, there would have been a massive lack of cover on the right-hand side over here if I could have outflanked them over here, but just never got the dice. So it never happened. Like the tank broke down probably, if you think about it. Scout team just got over here and floundered. They kind of just hid out. I did get the 2 double phases in a row, so the Russians probed forward, and then when it came time to land a hammer blow, just didn't happen. I did have a chain of command die. I was going to save it to do an interrupt for the Soviets, but it would just been one squad firing. So I don't know. Maybe it would have done something. Maybe it wouldn't have. It might have worked over here when the Germans came in, but both of them got wiped out. Over here, I thought I did great. Soviets reinforced and were winning the firefight, but then the Germans did the same thing and ended up outperforming. Still, I'm not sure who would have won this one. And then over there you had the another flanking move by the Soviets, but there was a German containment force over there if need be. So, yeah. So now I'm just waiting on. I think it's going to arrive today. From Warlord Games, the Pioneer box. So I'll make the assault engineers or the Pioneers. A mine and wire clearing team, a flamethrower team, and then everyone else is I'm going to pour into rifles because I just need more rifles. And that'll be, it's 30 more troops for the Germans, which will make it then I won't have to. I'll have more. I'll be able to stick to what chain of command says to do. I still like throwing in the assault rifles, but I might have to do a little tweak to help the Soviets out and push that force strength to like +1 since they have so many assault rifles compared to the 0 they have right now. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to go out and edit this and get it done. I'm still off for like 2 more days, so it's kind of nice. So I'm going to see what I can paint. Maybe I'll get a hankering for a second game if I can get these 30 guys cranked out really quick, and you never know. So that's it. Have a great weekend, guys. You're fantastic. Thanks for everything you do. Bye.